Okay, ready to dive into some shadows?
Always up for a little shadow work.
Well, today, it's all about the Qliphoth. That kind of hidden flip side of the Kabbalah.
The shadow side of the Tree of Life. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're talking about those raw, untamed energies, the stuff people usually try to avoid. But some say it holds incredible power.
Not just power, but a pathway to a different kind of transformation. We're talking Lilith, Samael, Asmodeus. These are some serious heavy hitters in the world of, well, let's just say they don't show up on those Angels Among Us greeting cards.
Yeah, definitely not your average meditation deities.
Yeah.
But we've got a whole stack of sources here from occultists and practitioners who, well, they've been there. And they're saying these encounters, even if it's just within ourselves, can be incredibly transformative.
It's like they're holding up a mirror to those parts of ourselves we'd rather keep hidden, those shattered aspects we try to deny, but facing them, integrating them, that's where the real magic happens.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but for those who might be new to this whole Qliphoth thing, can you break it down? What exactly is it?
Imagine the Tree of Life, right? That map of creation, each sephira a different aspect of the divine flowing into the material world.
Okay, got it.
The Qliphoth is like the shadow of that map, not separate, but a reflection, an inverse. Where the Sephiroth are all about balance and harmony, the Qliphoth is like the raw, unfiltered energy before it's been, tamed and integrated.
So less good versus evil, more like light and shadow, both part of the whole picture.
Exactly. And a lot of occult traditions believe that by confronting those shadow aspects, by working with the poison of these realms, an initiate can achieve a level of self-mastery that goes beyond the traditional paths.
You keep saying poison, and it's true. That's a word that pops up a lot in these sources, especially when we get to Samael, right?
Right, Samael and the poison of God. But think of it like this. Sometimes a little bit of poison, strengthens the immune system. It's about breaking down those old structures to make way for something new.
Like a cosmic detox for the soul. Sounds intense, though.
It can be. That's why these realms are often feared. But it's like they say, the greatest treasures are often found in the darkest caves.
Speaking of caves, lots of sources point to Lilith's cave as the entry point to this whole Qliphothic journey. What's the significance of that place?
Picture this. A cave, pulsating with life, damp with amniotic fluid, and, well, the scent of blood. It's visceral, primal. It's the womb of transformation.
Okay, that's vivid.
And it represents those raw, instinctual parts of ourselves. The shadow self we try to keep hidden.
It's like going back to the source, but not in a peaceful retreat kind of way. More like a confront your demons kind of way.
Exactly. And it's not just Lilith hanging out there. We're talking monstrous children, those aspects of ourselves that we find repulsive, frightening, that we'd rather not acknowledge.
So Lilith's cave is just the beginning, a kind of initiation into the shadow realms. Where does this journey take us next?
Next up, we're venturing into Gamaliel, a realm ruled by both Lilith and Samael. And if Lilith's cave was about confronting our shadow self in general, Gamaliel is about facing the shadow side of our sexuality.
Oh boy, things just got real. And the sources definitely don't hold back here. We're talking primal desires, deep-seated fears, the whole shebang.
Yeah, it's not your average self-help seminar. But that's the point. These realms challenge us to face those parts of ourselves that we normally avoid, the stuff we might even consider taboo. And it's through that confrontation, that willingness to face our shadow selves, that real transformation can happen.
No more hiding from our true selves, especially when it comes to sexuality. That's a powerful message. One source talks about how sexuality is the way to the divine. What's that all about?
It's about reclaiming that power, not in a, hedonistic way, but as a force for spiritual growth. In a lot of traditions, sexuality is seen as this sacred energy, something that can be harnessed for awakening. But to get there, we have to confront the shame, the guilt, the conditioning that keeps us from tapping into that power.
Sounds like we're really starting to peel back the layers here. So we've faced our shadow selves, delved into the depths of our sexuality, and this is just the beginning.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Okay, we're back and ready to go deeper into the Qliphoth.
Deeper we go. Next stop, we're heading into Samael's realm.
Oh boy, from what I've read, this is where things really heat up.
You could say that. One source called it the realm of burning reason, where everything you think you know gets challenged, like really challenged.
It's like stepping into a cosmic fire, burning away all those illusions.
Exactly. It's about questioning those deeply held beliefs, those things we cling to as absolute truths. And sometimes those truths, well, they need a little shaken up.
Yeah, we talked about the poison of the Qliphoth earlier. This feels like where that poison really starts to, work its magic.
It's not always a pleasant process, that's for sure. But just like a forest fire clears out the old growth to make way for new life, Samael's realm helps us clear out those old, stagnant ways of thinking, those rigid beliefs that might be holding us back.
Sounds intense. So how do we navigate this realm? Do we fight the fire? Try to outrun it?
The key here is surrender. Embrace the flames. Let go of that need for control, for certainty. Remember the roller coaster analogy, surrender to the ride.
Okay, so we're learning to surf those waves of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the realm itself, right?
Right.
We also encounter Samael, the big guy himself.
Samael. He's a tricky one. A master of words, a tempter who loves to poke holes in our carefully constructed realities.
So how do we deal with that? Do we try to outsmart him, ignore him? What's the strategy?
You can't really outsmart Samael. He's playing chess while we're still setting up checkers. The key is to understand that his temptations, those challenges, they're actually opportunities for growth.
So it's not about winning or losing, but about learning from the experience.
Exactly. He's showing us our blind spots, those areas where we're still clinging to illusions. It's up to us to take that information and grow from it.
Kind of like those friends who always tell you the truth even when you don't want to hear it.
Exactly. They might be a little annoying sometimes, but ultimately they're helping you become a better version of yourself.
Okay, I can get behind that. So we're learning to detach, to embrace the unknown, to see those challenges as opportunities. What happens when we face the fire of Samael's realm? Where does the path lead us next?
Well, hold on to your hats, because we're about to enter Arab Zarak, the realm of illusion and intuition. Imagine a world of smoke and mirrors where your senses deceive you at every turn.
Wait, it gets even trickier. We've already faced our shadow selves, battled burning reason, and now we're entering a cosmic funhouse.
Something like that. But this funhouse, it's not just about silly mirrors and distorted reflections. It's about confronting the illusions we create about ourselves, the ways we distort our own reality.
So how do we navigate that? If we can't trust our senses, if everything is a potential illusion, how do we even know which way is up?
That's the challenge of Arab Zarak. It's a realm that demands we develop a strong sense of self-awareness. We have to be able to discern between genuine intuition, that inner guidance system, and the seductive whispers of our fears and desires, which can often lead us astray.
Easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
Our fears and desires, they can be pretty convincing.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in Arab Zarak, where those emotions get amplified, distorted. It's like that feeling when you're walking through a haunted house, your heart's racing, and every shadow seems like a monster about to jump out at you.
I hate haunted houses. But I get your point. So how do we tell the difference? How do we know if we're following our intuition or getting caught up in our own heads?
It takes practice. It's about learning to observe our emotions without getting swept away by them, recognizing those patterns, those triggers that tend to send us down those rabbit holes of illusion.
So it's like we're becoming emotional detectives, learning to spot those red herrings and false leads that our own minds throw our way.
Exactly. And just like any good detective, we need to develop that keen sense of observation, that ability to detach from the drama and see things for what they really are.
Okay, I'm starting to see the value in this, even if it sounds a bit terrifying. So we've learned to detach from rigid beliefs, embrace uncertainty, and now we're navigating the treacherous waters of our own emotions. This Qliphothic journey is quite the ride. Welcome back. We're about to navigate some pretty intense energy here as we go deeper into the Qliphoth.
Intense is one word for it. We're moving into Thagirian now, the realm associated with the Black Sun. This is where things get really, really interesting.
Okay, the Black Sun. Just a name evokes a certain intensity. The sources describe it as a place where everything gets turned upside down, a realm of ultimate confrontation.
It's where those comfortable constructs we build around ourselves, those ideas about who we are, what we believe, they start to crumble.
So it's not just about facing our shadow selves anymore. It's about facing the void, the unknown at its most, unknown.
In a way, yes. It's about confronting the raw, untamed power within. Not the ego's power, but something much deeper, more primal. Think of it like staring into a black hole and realizing it's not empty, but overflowing with a power that can create and destroy entire universes.
Okay, now that's an image.
Right.
But how do we even begin to navigate that? What's the lesson, the takeaway from this Black Sun energy?
It's about recognizing that true power comes from embracing the totality of who we are. Not just the light, not just the shadow, but the whole damn thing. Those parts we deny, repress, they hold a power we can't even imagine until we integrate them.
One of the sources describes a meditation practice where you visualize yourself becoming a shadow. merging with this vast primal energy. It sounds intense, like ego death intense.
It can be, but that's the point. It's about letting go of those limited ideas about who we are, those masks we wear, to reveal the true self that exists beyond those constructs.
So it's like a death and rebirth experience.
Exactly. We die to the old self, the limited self, and emerge from the ashes, reborn, transformed.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand. It's not about becoming someone different, but about becoming more fully ourselves, embracing the full spectrum of our being. So we faced our shadow selves, battled burning reason, navigated illusions, and now we're merging with the black sun. This Qliphothic journey is not for the faint of heart. Where do we go from here?
Hold on tight, because we're about to descend into Golakab, ruled by the infamous Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. Now there's a name, often depicted as this, well, let's just say he's got a reputation. What kind of lessons are in store for us in his realm?
Golakab is where we confront the raw power of desire. Not just sexual desire, but all desire. That burning, primal urge that drives us. It's about understanding the nature of that desire, its power to create and destroy.
So it's not about denying those desires, but about mastering them.
Exactly. Imagine trying to hold back a raging river. It's futile, right? The only way to work with that kind of power is to understand it, to learn how to channel it. That's the lesson of Golakab.
Some sources mention the 9 hells of Asmodeus. What's the deal with those?
Think of each hell as a different aspect of desire, a different facet of that intense energy we're learning to master. It's like a crash course in human experience with all its highs and lows, its pleasures and pains.
Sounds intense.
Oh, it can be. But remember, we're talking about transformation here, and real transformation, the kind that shakes you to your core, it's rarely comfortable. It's about facing those parts of ourselves that we'd rather keep hidden, those aspects of desire that make us uncomfortable. But through that confrontation, we gain a level of self-mastery we couldn't achieve any other way.
Okay, so we've braved the black sun, faced our deepest desires in the 9 hells. Where does this wild ride take us next?
Next, we confront the abyss. This is like the ultimate threshold, the dividing line between the lower realms and the transcendent realms of the Qliphoth. And standing guard at this abyss, we encounter Choronzon.
Choronzon.
Yeah.
The dweller in the abyss. Yeah, sources do not paint a pretty picture of this guy. Chaos, confusion, the dissolution of boundaries. What are we in for here?
Choronzon is the embodiment of those self-sabotaging tendencies we all have, those fears, those doubts that hold us back from stepping into our greatness. He's the voice in our heads that whispers, "You're not good enough, you're going to fail." All those things that keep us small and safe.
So it's like an ultimate showdown with our inner critic. That voice that tells us to play it small and avoid taking risks.
Exactly. And here's the thing about Choronzon. He thrives on resistance. The more we try to fight him, the stronger he becomes.
So how do we win?
Yeah.
How do we overcome those self-sabotaging tendencies and cross the abyss?
We surrender.
Wait, what? We don't fight, we surrender.
Exactly. We embrace those fears, those doubts, those parts of ourselves that we've been trying so hard to deny. Because here's the secret. Those fears, they don't have any real power over us unless we give it to them.
It's like we're staring into the abyss and realizing the only way out is through. By embracing the darkness, we find the light.
In a way, yes. By accepting all parts of ourselves, even those messy, shadowy parts, we become whole. And that wholeness, that integration, that's what allows us to cross the abyss and emerge into the transcendent realms of the upper triad. Sateriel, Gagiel, and Thamiel.
Okay, we've reached the summit. These realms are often shrouded in mystery. What can you tell us about them?
Imagine emerging from the darkness, from that confrontation with your deepest fears, into a realm of pure light and potential. That's the energy of the upper triad. It's where we integrate the lessons of the lower realms, those hard-won insights, and step into a greater understanding of who we are. It's about wholeness, wisdom, and realizing our true potential.
So it's not just about confronting darkness, but about what we find when we emerge from that darkness.
Exactly. It's like the hero's journey. You face the trials, you battle the demons, and you emerge transformed, ready to claim your reward.
I love that analogy. So let's talk about these transcendent realms.
Yeah.
Sateriel, for example. What awaits us there?
Sateriel is often described as the womb of the Dark Mother. It's a realm of rebirth, of returning to the source. We shed those old identities, those limiting beliefs that no longer serve us, and we're given a chance to start fresh, armed with the wisdom we've gained on this journey.
Like a cosmic reset button. I like it. And what about Gagiel? What happens in that realm?
Gagiel is the birthing canal. It's where potential becomes manifest. It's a realm of constant flux, of change and transformation, where we learn to surrender to the flow of life, to trust that even in the midst of chaos, there's a deeper order at play.
It's about finding our center, that inner compass that guides us, even when everything around us feels like it's spinning out of control.
Exactly. It's about developing that unshakable core, that inner knowing that allows us to navigate those changes with grace and resilience.
And finally, Samael, the pinnacle of the Qliphoth. What awaits us in this final realm?
Samael represents the culmination of the journey. It's the realm of the black diamond, a symbol of perfection, individuality, and, dare I say, godhood. It's where we fully integrate those shadow aspects, transcend those limiting beliefs about duality, and step into our power as co-creators of our reality. We become the artist and the masterpiece, the creator and the creation.
Wow, what a journey. From Lilith Cave to the Black Diamond of Samael. It's been quite a ride. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up this deep dive into the Qliphoth?
The Qliphoth is not for everyone. It's a challenging path. But the rewards, as you can see, are immeasurable. It's about confronting those parts of ourselves we'd rather avoid, those shadows we try so hard to outrun. But it's in those shadows, in those dark corners of our being, that we discover our true power. It's about embracing our wholeness, our light and our darkness, and realizing that true transformation, true freedom, lies in that integration.
It's about becoming the Black Diamond, shining bright even in the darkness. Thank you so much for taking us on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep exploring those shadows, and remember, the greatest treasures are often found in the darkest